warthog. Don't worry about the top tusks. Those are the ones you got to watch out for. You can see them as she chews. They sharpen up against the bottom tusks every time she chews. Little ones are suckling. This is spectacular, everybody. I never see this. Warthogs normally just run away. I'm closer than Jamie's, of course, so we definitely will. Brian, do you want to stop the film? Should we just quickly flick it on for the sake of it? We're just going to start the virtual reality rig. Okay, I'll go through. Simply because we just don't get this sort of stuff before. And we're moving very slowly to switch everything on. That's it. I got it. And now let's see how they react to the sound. Don't worry, relax, all is well, all is well. It is now recording. Is the sound thing ready? The sound thing takes longer than the computers at the NASA space station to fire up. There we go, it's recording. And you can just sync it with a click, not a clap. Two tiny baby piglets. We never see this. Already starting to graze on their knees. Fantastic. Of course, as the heat starts to build, so do the flies and their enthusiasm, which will eventually result in my flapping my hands. There's one trying to cross the road now. Right, very nice question, obvious one, of course, from Jamo. Why on earth do warthogs feed on their knees? Well, let's see if these ones do it again. There, look there. Look at the way the snout is designed, and look at the way that little piglet, even at its age, is feeding. You see how it's digging with the snout. It's not only kind of using its teeth, and when you're on your knees like that, you can wedge yourself against the ground, and you can dig out the nutritious roots and rhizomes that are part of the grass plants, and that's what warthogs are looking for often. And so they can get on their knees and use the hard snout. There's some cartilage in the snout there that helps them to dig. Imagine how hard their knees must be, how calloused. This is incredible. They're standing maybe 10 feet from the vehicle. And you can even hear them chewing, yeah, as Brian says. The questions we get surround orphans, and I think it's because it's a big thing for human beings. Of course, we have a thing about orphans, about adopting them or making sure that they're okay. That's part of human egalitarian society. And we get a lot of questions about whether animals will do the same thing. And Shannon, you want to know if warthogs would adopt orphaned piglets. I don't actually know for sure, Shannon. I don't think so. It's possible. It's possible that if a female was lactating and a baby of another sounder member, say a sister or a cousin, maybe she would adopt one if the mother died. I would think it's unlikely, though, unless it was a related female, in which case maybe. There are very few mammals that will, that engage in the practice of adoption, especially of unrelated males or females. Patrick in Arizona, you've asked a completely unanswerable question. Those are the best kind. You want to know if a warthog is related to a javelina. Brian, do you have any idea what a javelina is, other than a character in an Alice in Wonderland book?
Not the funniest.
Well, it's called a peccary as well. Now that's starting to become slightly more familiar. Patrick, I still don't know what a peccary is, I'm afraid. I'm sorry about that. Right, apparently it's a pig-like animal from North America and South America. Yeah, I think I can picture it. I'm sure it is related. I don't think very closely, of course, because one is in the New World and one the Old World. We are in the Old World. And a peccary or javelina, about which I'm going to have to learn when I get home, occurs in the New World or in the Americas. But if it is pig-like, it will be related in some way. But not as closely related. So apparently not closely related. I'm getting lots of information here from the final control. Not closely related to wild boar, and so therefore probably not closely related to these pigs. And that'll be because of the Atlantic in the middle and how long it's been there. Pigs, of course, all these warthogs are quite closely related to the European wild boar. This is the most astonishing sighting. We just don't see them like this. Look at those little white bit of fur that comes up out of the warthog's face. Looks like tusks, and I'm sure that's to con predators into thinking that they have formidable razor-like tusks there. A piglet is a very vulnerable little animal. For a leopard especially, a leopard or a lion will devour one of these things. A favorite meal. That's enough of that. They don't like the virtual reality stuff, the piglets. Jenny, is eating on their knees a learned or innate behavior? I think it's probably an innate behavior in the same way that suckling is, Jenny. I couldn't say for sure, but I'm pretty sure that that's what it would be. I think it's probably almost impossible to tell. Well, it's probably not. I mean, it wouldn't be impossible to tell at all. If you adopted a warthog piglet that had lost its mother and raised it as a baby, you'd very quickly soon see if it was fed on its knees or not. I think you'll find that they would. You say they're so tiny when they're born, they must lose a lot of them. Yes, you do lose quite a few of them, but most of these animals that have a litter or this is a litter of piglets, if it's a very big litter, you will find that they lose more often, lose more than survive. A small litter tends to be an investment in parental care and sort of also an increased gestation period that will hopefully result in 80% of them, maybe even a bit more. But there certainly is an extensive amount of parental care here. But they are vulnerable. I mean, out here, those warthog piglets are much faster than us. And I remember watching a warthog piglet running away from a lion once and thinking that the piglet would get away. I mean, they're so much faster than we are, for example. But that lion hauled the piglet in 3 strides. It was incredible how fast the lion could. It was just kind of a 1, 2, 3 grab, and the piglet was gone. We would never have been able to catch it. So they are very vulnerable at this age. They will be quite close by, I think, to a burrow to which they can run. But a leopard lurking in the bushes here would be very pleased to come across these little piggies. James Richard, I hope I did answer your question sufficiently on infanticide and why, from an evolutionary point of view, it does happen. And I find it a fascinating subject. The male and female breeding strategies of all mammals are very different, and that's largely based on the fact that for the male mammal, the risk of a mating event is negligible to nothing, whereas for a female, of course, it may result in pregnancy, which is very expensive, and then child rearing, which is even more expensive. And so that's why a female, obviously, who has piglets, little ones, could be piglets, could be cubs, could be babies, is less likely to want to mate, and therefore the reason for infanticide becomes a bit more clear. Natasha, you're absolutely correct. The rain is needed. The grazers don't have much, and while we're looking at that Warthog sow right in front of the vehicle, they are often the ones that suffer the most, warthogs. They're obviously not designed to migrate to great distances to water. They are water dependent. They need the water and the moisture in the food that they eat. So yes, they will be vulnerable to the... Look at her, she's eating soil there. See that? Eating a little bit of soil to get a few minerals. It's taking her vitamins for the day. There they go. Right, everyone. What a marvellous warthog sighting that was. The best I've had here yet. Especially to have the little piggies. 5 little piggies. The mother is totally unaffected by the vehicle. What have you got? There we go. Right, let's head across to Jamie, see what she's up to. I'll catch up with you shortly.
Between Liam and myself, we have driven pretty much, well, almost every single road on Juba. As to where Tingana disappeared to, your guess is as good as mine. He is a mystery to me. Maybe he's off with Karula somewhere sharing a kill. We'll just have to until safari to find out. Thank you for joining us. It has been a wonderfully entertaining morning, and a big thanks to Liam for all of his company and camera work. And thank you for all of your wonderful questions. We will catch you this afternoon for the Sunset Safari. Bye, guys.
And we are back again, coming out onto the southern boundary, turning to the west, heading for home. Some breakfast of seeds and coffee. Brian, what are you going to have for breakfast?
Some fruit.
Some fruit.
A glass of water.
And a glass of water. I think today is fry-up day, which means that there might be some eggies, some bacon, some tomatoes, mushrooms. Always lots of coffee for me. Not for you, Brian. You don't drink coffee. No, it's just the devil.
Yes.
So we're just turning onto Twin Dams Road, which of course is a good place to look, because that's where Karula and Tingana were yesterday. Now, Kathy in Nebraska, yes. Your question about the drought in swimming pools is a valid one. Do animals ever try and break in to drink out of a swimming pool? Certainly, elephants do all the time. And if it gets dry, they will walk through the fence and drink. Certainly, I'm not sure about some of the other animals. There is a fence around where the pool is. And some animals may try and jump over it. Certainly, the nyala and kudu easy jump over it, so they might have a go. Hyenas, if they were desperate enough, could dig under it. Warthogs could probably dig under it. But the water, of course, hello, what's your name? There is the giraffe. Look at it walk. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Just like a hyena. Beautiful giraffe ball. You can hear the kingfishers calling above us. There goes the giraffe. All right, everybody, we're pretty much done with the show. We've got a minute left, so we'll just keep driving along. And just to say that the absolutely yes, the pool will become vulnerable to thirsty animals, but thirsty animals also become vulnerable to the pool because there's a lip to it, and often animals fall in. We've had to rescue elephants out of pools before, quite often. What else have we had to rescue out of pools? Yeah, elephants. I'd hate to find Peter from the pan inside there. But hopefully that eventuality will not occur. Right, a big thank you to Jamie and Viam on the other car for all of their efforts this morning, the wild dog hunt. Thanks to Kirsty and Jerry in the final control, and of course Brian and the fun. Thank you, Brian. And all of you for your questions and comments. We will see you this afternoon at 4 o'clock, the Sunset Safari. Until then, stay safe wherever you are. Bye-bye.